How about now? Okay, I think you can pick me up now. Damn! Thank you so much for that. Yeah, my interface was not plugged in. I'll start again. I'm waiting for. I'll start again. I'm waiting for a couple people, couple more people to join. I'm going to be talking about Nate, the lawyer, and Bouzy today, and their case that's been dismissed. Just offering a few opinions. Thank you so much, Freddie, for prompting me on the sound issue. Boy, that would have been so embarrassing because I actually thought everything was up and running. I'm literally gonna record tonight, so um, imagine if there was no sound for that. Anyway, so but I do have a couple of announcements. I'll just go through them again because obviously that no sound came through. But basically this week in I just want to say for anyone that watched the Depth V Heard Labyrinth part one, thank you so much for all the feedback that you gave, for everything, for even watching the whole thing. I didn't think everyone would watch the whole thing. I thought it was too long. I thought 90 minutes was actually very ambitious. So it was surreal to see so many people actually reach the end and reference the end, and were like, that was surreal to me. But I'll be talking a lot more about that on Cheap Seat Opinions with Les and Stevie J Raw. I think he's joining us, so it's gonna be surreal. Like because they've been following this case since forever. Like they've done so much breakdown. They've done so much breakdowns on the case, so it'll be amazing to talk to them about this. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you so much, Freddie. Yeah, like it was interesting covering it because I've always wondered how can I contribute to the talk. So it was interesting that I that it was that I was able to do something that people liked. So thank you. But yeah, going on Cheap Seat's opinions, I'll be talking a lot more about that case there. I'll also be doing a 1,000 road to 1,000 subscribers stream because I'm very close. Again, did not even imagine that happening, but I'm very very close. It's 893 subs now. Could reach 1,000 by Friday. I want to reach 1,000 by Friday. I got an unstructured interview with Harry Conley, thanks to Freddie Stardust, who is in the chat. Thank you so much because I honestly did not actually expect that to happen, and you tagging him in it and he actually responding. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we've got an interview tomorrow, and I will post that on the community tab on the community side so that you can see, and so that you can actually pretty much join us for that little unstructured interview that he does. Great channel he has. And on Friday, like I said, I'll be doing a 1,000 followers stream. I'll be inviting loads of people. Whoever takes the invite takes the invite. But I want to reach 1,000 subscribers by Friday. So yeah, that'll be amazing. But in regards to Nate the lawyer, because I don't want this to be a very long stream. I want it to be around. I want it to be around half an hour. So let me just, before I start on the co-read, quickly put out a tweet, and then we start from there. Flip, where is it? Yeah, there we go. Just put out a tweet, and then so done that. So let's go straight into the lawsuit and pretty much read pretty much read that. Oh yes, I last shout out. Faye Starter says, "Faye, yes, Faye, I just see you with Les and Stevie. Same. I'm excited to be there, and I'm excited that you're coming on because you have been literally like you're sending me your arguments have kept like I said, your arguments have made me think outside the box a little bit. It has a lot of people that I've spoken to have really influenced the way I am approaching this part two, because part two is always the hardest. How do you top part one? And I didn't think part one would get so much plaudits, but yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for your contribution. Just for say that, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. For this stream, we're just going. We just go quickly. We know the background of the case. We know that Bouzy had basically made a lot of allegations that fateful day, and he basically said that Nate wasn't a lawyer. When it came out, it's so stupid because he admits this is the thing on this was the cause of the complaint. So Bouzy actually admits that Nate is a lawyer. Like he says he lied about it. He says he was waiting for somebody he knew was a lawyer, so he was waiting for somebody to actually opine and say and bring out the information that he's a lawyer. So he was sitting on the information basically. So anyone would think that's the cause of the complaint, that this should go on, but the judge took a different view, and we're gonna talk about that because it's very. I personally think that the application of law actually changed everything, because if this was because it was the New York law applied, even though they filed in New Jersey. Don't know. Anyway, it would have gone through because New Jersey doesn't have the same defamation rules as New York does, but because New York law applied, and even when New York law applied, it was such a weird argument, and I'm gonna go straight. And I'm gonna go straight there because the argument was kind of here they applied they applied New York law, but the argument is what I am after, which says let me just go straight here. It says where is it? No, that's not the one. No, here. I went too far down. Yeah, okay, so went too far down. Since falsity, no, that's not it. Damn, I really should have highlighted all of this, but anyway, never mind. This analysis could there was a bit I'm looking for, and it was the fact that that he applied it to Twitter. And that was the part that really threw me off. I think it will come under here under analysis. Plaintiff is required to show actual malice because he is a limited purpose public figure, meaning that for this setting he is a public figure, but technically speaking he technically is a public figure anyway because he's been on New York Times feature, etc. So he yeah. Anyway, he has videos amassing up to 27 million views, etc. Plaintiff defamation claims fail because he has not sufficiently alleged that the defendant made any. And this is the part that I find strange. He says that the defendant. Did not make. As not sufficiently alleged that the defendant made any false statement of fact with knowledge that it was false or reckless disregard for the truth. Crucially, the overall context in which alleged defamation occurred here is Twitter. So, so that's the context that he's saying that because of that, he has not shown that defamation has occurred. Bear in mind, the nucleus of the case, the background of the case is Nate is Bouzy actually saying he's not a lawyer. Obviously, that's protected opinion. He can't say that. He goes on to bring up his history, then says, "Nope, I actually knew he was a lawyer. I just lied about it yeah, because I was waiting for somebody else to bring out the information, and now he's brought out the information. There he is. I always knew he was a lawyer." So to me, and to anyone reading, in fact, I don't think you need to be a genius to actually realize this, because I'm just a layman. I'm just a layman. So I I'm seeing that it's common sense that he's proven every element here, and I think Freddie says the Twitter argument from the judge is so ridiculous. When I first saw the case was dismissed, I thought it was so legit. I agree, because he says here, because what he's saying here is Twitter is a public forum where a reasonable reader will expect to find many more opinions than facts. Where that is true, the only part I challenge, well, not challenge, let me not say challenge. The only part I take issue with, the only part I take issue with is the fact that he says that Twitter is a public forum, which it is. However, publications exist in this public forum. Many public figures exist in this public forum. They all say things. They all make allegations. They all say things that, could be untrue, could be true, whatever. So I see where it's coming from. And reading on, flipping, I lost where I am. Okay, so here I am. Okay, reading on, and the case law side did not look into it, but I will look into it because I think there will be more and more cases now, especially with the boom of online, where a lot of these social media companies will start playing more of a role. And I think Ron Kermany even said that once, that is the online sphere is taking over. Anyway, going on, says, moreover, Twitter is a forum where the user in the same setting and with the same audience has the immediate opportunity to air his competing view, and thus generally remedy any defamation with self-help rather than rely on litigation. This is especially true here, where plaintiff was an avid user of this platform with many followers and thus had significant greater access. I get what he's trying to say. I'm not actually attacking the logic, because the logic, it is logical. You have a chance to rebut, so therefore you cannot. But again, like I said, publications are on Twitter, so if they were to make a claim, this judge would not be saying this, by the way. If publications were to say something that was defamatory about somebody, and then you're not going to be saying, well, you're on Twitter, so you're going to reply and rebut these allegations, because the way I'm reading this is the influence of the person applies a lot more. I mean, taking the publication out of it, it's the influence of the person rather than or the company or the organization, etc. That's the way I'm reading it. Maybe I'm wrong or anything like that, but that's what is screaming to me, because let's say that an organization makes a tweet that doesn't accompany with a link to an article, just like how Nate the lawyer, just like how Bouzy did it. It's just organization. I think that would result in a libel, because of the fact that New York Times, for example, or CNN or whatever, they can't just escape libel because of they not putting a link to go and read an article offline. Rather, it would make more sense that the fact that they're known as a journalist, their job title is known, what they do, their responsibilities, etc. It would make more sense that, hey, it's not enough that I'm on Twitter to rebut these things. They have influence that people might actually believe it. So that's the first thing that came into mind. Several of the defendants' tweets question plaintiff's credentials, including tweets regarding whether plaintiff was in fact an attorney or former prosecutor. Among these, That only one that only one that a reasonable reader might view as a statement of fact is defendant's statement was never a prosecutor. However, plaintiff fails to plead facts showing that the defendant made the statement with actual malice, so none of his tweets concerning plaintiff credentials are actual defamation. Okay. Defendant's tweet questioning whether plaintiff was a lawyer was protected First Amendment speech because I know that it's opinions, not a real lawyer. We get that. However, and a number of tweets alluded to the fact that plaintiff might not be using his real name on social media. Again, we get that. Plaintiff alleges that the day after posting these tweets, defendant corrected the record after having learned that Mr. Broady is in fact a New York attorney, but that he later explained in a tweet that he had tweeted the prior statements about plaintiff not appearing to be a lawyer knowingly and willfully. However, the tweet that purportedly explains this is not clear. Defendant referencing back to an earlier tweet in which said there was no history of him practicing, and that maybe maybe the name he's using isn't his real name. Stated that he already had the information. This statement does not demonstrate that this statement does not demonstrate that defendant knew at the outset that plaintiff was in fact a lawyer under another name. Moreover, it's unclear what information he had, assuming that the information was plaintiff's real name. Defendant's statement that there was no history of him pricing is substantially true with regard to social media persona. He was he calls himself Nate the lawyer. I get it, because I call myself Dr. Hines. I'm not really a doctor, am I? So I'm kind of negating my own point. But no, I get it. I get where the judge is coming from, because he has thrown out the false light claim based on New York law. So he's not going to be thinking implication, what this true statement looked like, etc. He's not going to be thinking that. So I get where it's coming from there, but where it falls flat is, well, what else could he talk about? He said he had the information. He looked at it in the overall context. Where is the context here? Because the context here should be, what else was he talking about? His profession. That's the only thing he was talking about. Freddie says, just reading some chats here, the judge also said people only write opinions on Twitter. That's not true at all. Exactly. Exactly, because there are news publications on Twitter. So I'm gonna so flip this. Let's say that it wasn't even Bouzy. Let's say Nate, the same thing happens again with Nate, but rather than Bouzy, it was, for example, it was Elon Musk. If Nate brought this claim against Elon Musk, I don't think he would make this argument, because I think what the judge had done had removed all influence away from Bouzy to actually make the argument that he could be defamed, because he's thinking in the sense that Bouzy is just any other user, when that's not the case. He was a central player in the Depp case, which is the only reason why they were even referencing that case, to actually give a background. So when I read through the complaint, I'll be very honest. When I read through the complaint initially, I did think it may not go far elsewhere outside of New Jersey. I did think that because the way that Nate was actually breaking it down, New Jersey was the most favorable venue for him, so it made sense. At the same time, the way he was also breaking it down, when it came to the sense of the actual malice and all of that, I was like, okay, cool, they do stand a chance, but it feels like it's a bit, I was thinking in my head that false light was not as strong as going for an actual defamation claim. So I didn't think it would go far, but I didn't think it would be this nuanced. And when I say this, I didn't think he'll be thrown out for this reason, because I felt, because the way it's argued, the way that it just seems like it's a stretch, because it's like a coin toss. A coin toss. I would not be surprised at all if this judge actually picked up a coin, tossed it, and then it landed on tails, and he's like, okay, cool, I'm going for Bouzy then, and then writes his reason, because this reason could literally flow anywhere, literally anywhere. The only person that this reason would apply to 100% without it being 50-50 is me or any user. Yeah, but Bouzy is not just any user. I think he even has does he have more followers than Nate? I think he even has more followers than Nate, if I'm not mistaken. So the influence is there. They are technically on equal footing. So so that was just weird to me. What if the person who defamed Nate was a journalist, for example, Kat? I think the judge is just old. That's a good point. That's a good point. What if it was a journalist that was doing just Twitter, no article? So there's so much layers to this, and I did speak to a VA lawyer about this, and we were conferring about this, and she was actually explaining that it was more of it wasn't necessarily the case. It wasn't necessarily that you can be, because what I was asking her was, what if, does this mean that people that have, let's say, abuse claims, etc., can they just now use this to come forward and say, hey, I made it on Twitter, so the libel doesn't come? And they use someone that's of influence, etc. And what she said was, it's just down to the context of what's being argued. So, and I'm paraphrasing loosely because I don't have the communications here, but that's what she was essentially saying, because it's just down to the context of what's being argued, the wordings, everything. Because what the judge was going for it just seems so wild to me, because how do you decide that that the information that he has is not the same information that he was alleging 5 minutes ago? It's like saying, I'm not the same man I am 5 minutes ago. That doesn't make sense to me anyway. Like, you can't just have obtained a completely different information to what you had 5 minutes ago, that you literally said that you're waiting for someone else to publish, and someone else did publish, and it was about them being a real lawyer. This does seem like an error. And I think the stream just done literally 15 minutes ago, where they said that they're refiling, and I'm glad he is, because it does actually seem like a legal defect. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. If I am honest with you, but so let me continue reading this. So it goes on to say, however, plaintiff does not allege facts showing that the defendant knew the statement was false at the time it was published, or that he made the statement with investors disregard. The complaint then demonstrate that that defendant had some regard for the truth, as he deleted all the tweets with misstatements, and even in same tweet containing the statement, he corrected his prior misstatements. Plaintiff alleges that the defendant ultimately considered the falsity of his claims about plaintiff's background and credentials. Asserted that these alleged facts as true, they do not establish defendant's actual manifest. This is interesting, and I need to look this up actually, because I know, because when I was looking in the Depp case and in the UK case, the wife beater article was only up for like the lawyer I spoke to actually brought it to my attention that the article was not even, he was working that day for another publication, And basically, what he said was the article was only up for a few hours, maybe maybe like it wasn't the whole day because they made revisions and then the next day it was changed. So it was changed to assault claims or something like that. So it wasn't the same article that was so over the top, directly calling him a wife beater. So because of that change, then came the lawsuit, but but Depp was able to sue in regards to the wife beater only, not the revision of that article. So I'll be very interested to read and see whether in the States they have the same model, because what this looks like here doesn't, it's it like, just because someone decided to what I'm trying to say is that just because someone decided to delete the tweets doesn't mean the harm was not already done. Basically, that was what the law that was what the barrister was actually telling me. He does defamation here. He was basically telling me, let me read this chat. Oh wow, I didn't know about the the article. It was two articles. The revised version does not call him a wife beater. I calls him just saying that he has sexual assault. I will post it. It's in one of my sources for the doc. But yeah, but what was I saying? But yeah, just because someone deletes, I'm using that to say, but that's UK rule, so obviously it wouldn't apply here. But he was basically explaining that article, by before going into that, let me read that. By that logic, we can proclaim every public person as a pedo on Twitter with no consequences. Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much. You can make a tweet, it goes viral, and then you delete it. No consequences, no fines, all good. It's out of the ether now. No, I would like to think there is a law here, maybe state by state. I don't know, but I would like to think that there is actually a law that prohibits that. That doesn't just allow you to just escape defamation just because you've decided to like alter details of an article, even though it's already been live. I mean, isn't that why defamation was available? So that the alterations, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's to make sure that you're careful about what you put out first, rather than, oh, he changed this, okay, that's fine. I mean, am I crazy for thinking that was the idea behind, so that newspapers, public figures, public officials, all those people, they can take better care of what they publish before actually putting it out, rather than put it out and say, oopsie, change, edit, and then they get away. I don't know. This one seems very weird to me. This one part, it seemed very weird that the judge actually decided, no, actually, he actually did regard the truth because he did it. It makes logical sense. Don't get me wrong. It does make logical sense that actually, no, he regarded the truth. He wasn't acting recklessly to just leave it up. He actually made, concessions or took steps to actually remedy the situation. That doesn't reverse the harm. The harm is still there. But in terms of the actual marriage standard, I can see where it's coming from. It's just strange. It's just really strange. Defendants tweets challenging plaintiff credentials. I think we've already read this. Criminal conduct. I think committed crimes cannot be formed as basis for defamation. Defendants tweets describing plaintiff as a grifter or participant in a smear campaign or clear the opinions. Yep, that's no direct accusation. Defendants' more direct accusation of criminal conduct cannot constitute defamation, because they solely disclose the facts which they were based upon. Okay, defendant began their string of tweets about planting evidence with the words "new honor video plaintiff admitted" blah blah. and then it continued, etc. I'm not gonna continue here because I think we know that, but I did defend. I did go on to say that I do believe that this would win on Twitter. I did actually say that, and I'm eating my words right now because I actually do agree with the judge there. Like it's not like he just relied on his head nogging and he just made that out of nowhere. He actually was using, and it presents so much problems because I I want to I need to look more into this. Maybe I'll find something in the rabbit hole or something, but I do need to look more and just ask the question that is it possible that even when someone is watching even when someone has the video and they're quoting from it, but they provide all misquotes, like they don't actually care for the content, they just go on a completely different tangent to what was on the video. Would that now arise for defamation? Because they are relying on something, but clearly they're regurgitating falsehoods. So actual malice should be established with this. I would love to actually see that. I would love to actually see that actually play out. So let me put you here. Okay, someone can start a thread of on Twitter full of lies about someone boost the engagement and reach with bots. The tweet goes viral. The person mentioned is ruined. The judge, okay. Okay. I don't like the bots excuse, and I can't prove bots. Whenever I hear someone say bots, I just know that I don't like that argument. I don't like the idea of people using bots, or people alleging that there's bots or botting. You can't prove it. So unless you have, I don't know. I that has never sat comfortably with me. But in terms of this case, though, to go back to this case, he probably may have lost the battle, and I'm referring to Nate. He may even lose the round 2 that he's going for. It's realistic. It's a possibility. However, I think he's won because everything he done has tainted Bouzy's image in such a way that Bouzy can't even call for defamation if he wanted to, because the guy, his software is not even working right now. Bot center is not even working. I don't care about Sparable. It was never even a good plan to even begin with. It was always a stupid platform to even create from day one. So I don't really care about Sparable. But in terms of Bot Sentinel, I've always thought it's a bot farm. I've always thought it's a machine learning system that would use the data provided and repurpose it for other purposes. Whether it's for bots, but I think it was more to sell to AI companies. That was my thinking. It was to sell to AI companies, and Elon now taking over, completely stamped all over that, and he's pissed. But that was my thinking. It was just to mine all that information, sell it to AI companies, and they obviously create more and more cohesive, more and more sophisticated systems. I follow this guy called Dom Lucre, and he actually unearthed, and I believe it was him. I'm not sure if it was someone before him, but there was this account called Erica Marsh, and that account was actually proven to be a bot. It was actually proven to be a bot. It used a picture of a white woman, liberal, leaning, always causing strife with each party. And then one day, Dom just came in and just revealed everything, even right down to the source of the creator, the person that offers these services, which is why I'm thinking that that's who he's selling it for. So he's not creating bots per se. He's just selling it to the companies that would create bots, and bots do exist. It's so hard to tell that I just don't even bother myself doing it, because it would just cause more and more headaches to try and figure out who is a bot, who is not. They're getting more and more sophisticated. But in terms of this lawsuit, Nate has won the war, in my honest opinion. For you to launch a defamation claim and gain more followers is testament to winning the war, because it's Bouzy that's lost. But I don't think, I hope not, because that would be such a travesty. But I hope not. But I don't think the law looks at how much followers you gained. I don't know. Nate, let me read this. Nate proved Bouzy used bots multiple times. I believe majority of his followers are bots. Yeah, probably. I personally think so. I mean, yeah, probably. But I don't know. I just don't like to. I mean, I think what Saqib did actually was great, because he actually really went in to actually show the history of him using these type of scams, and it was amazing. But in terms of, I still don't know. I'm always erring on the side of caution before calling someone a bot, because it could be a real person. But in all fairness, looking on this case, I think him changing to New York law makes more sense. I mean, but he was already his chances was already low, because he was going to New Jersey, so his chances was already low for New York anyway. So I'm not personally that optimistic. I feel like, but there are defects. I have seen there are arguments that could be made that would get him over the line, because I think the judge is ignoring Bouzy's influence, the virality of the virality of the claims he was making, even the police corruption claim, even though obviously that's dismissed. I don't have any disputes with that. But that tweet was so viral that I think Greg Doucet or something like that, someone that really, brings out police corruption, picked it up and was making a thread of it. So it's not something that was light play. I mean, but the fake lawyer part, and where the judge did dismiss this one with prejudice, that part didn't go as viral as the police part. But it's a messy one, because again, you have the person admitting it. You have the person saying he knew what it was, but he still went out and lied anyway. You have all this evidence that meets every standard, but yet is the argument of, well, he's on Twitter. It seems lazy. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it just seems so lazy. Well, he's on Twitter, so it's okay because he can rebut the claims and then clean up without using. No. That just means like viral post, because you're on Twitter, you can actually clean it up yourself. It's so stupid, because it negates every context there is. But anyway, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you for tuning in, especially you, Freddie. Thank you so much for utilizing the chat. I appreciate you for tuning in for this stream. Like I said, I'll be doing a Road to 1K stream. I'll put out the announcement tonight, really, so that you can join that stream, Road to 1K, on Friday. I will also be on Cheap Seat Opinions, discussing the doc. So whoever's watching, do join me on there, because I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, thank you so much for those that tuned in today, and thank you for hearing me ramble for a bit, because this one I really wanted to talk about this, because it was interesting, the outcome of it. It just didn't. I mean, logically it made sense, but it was also illogical at the same time. I don't know how you can have both of them coexist at once, but it is illogical to just omit the influence of somebody. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. How do you not take that into consideration? And it seems like a massive whoopsie that the judge did not consider that. It's quite obvious by reading this that he didn't. Because again, put Elon Musk in the position of Bouzy. We have this case will be going to court because Elon saying that Nate is not a lawyer and saying, "Oh, I knew he wasn't a lawyer, but I just put it out there anyway." He has so much influence that people will believe it. I don't know why that didn't factor in. Like, why that did they even consider that analysis at all? You know, because that should factor in. And as Freddie said, what about a journalist that decides to make a thread like that? People are gonna believe a journalist because they're journalists. They're gonna believe her or him, whatever. I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. I will see you guys much later. I'll post the stream at 10 o'clock because that's 10 o'clock my time, by the way. So I'll post it on the community page after this is done. So anyway, I'm just gonna end it here. Thank you and have a great evening. Bye bye.